Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another online yoga practice. This November on the 27th we celebrate the Beaver Full Moon in the star sign of Gemini. So the Beaver Full Moon is representative of the time of hibernation, so I like to imagine all the animals are creating their nests and creating this sense of stability for the colder winter months ahead. Intuitively, we tend to feel the same. We want to become more introverted, to create a safe space within our homes and to begin the stages of hibernation. However, the polarization comes when we consider the time of year as also the time of the festive season, and we are expected to meet more social demands, to go out and to socialize with all these people, and so we create this internal conflict within our minds. So this is where the star sign of Gemini is really going to influence our practice today. We're going to be looking to balance out these energies so we can hopefully feel more uplifted and energized for the social events that are expected of us, but also to honor those feelings of safety and stability that we should feel more pronounced through this time of year. So if you wanted to bring along any practices, as with any full moon, it's a great time for reflection. So Labradorite, Moonstone or Amethyst will be really good crystals for this, or Lavender, Ylang-ylang or Peppermint oil will be lovely for this as well. I really hope you enjoy this practice. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste.
Okay, welcome everyone. So we're actually going to start today in a tabletop position. So just coming onto all fours with your wrists under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And we'll just take a few rounds of breath in cat-cow pose. So on the inhalation, just opening the chest up through cow pose, really opening the heart, feeling the expansion of the muscles through the chest. And as we exhale, round the spine into cat, really feeling that sense of rooting through the hands, that balance, that energy as we ground through the knuckles. And then keep flowing with your own breath in this way, inhaling as we find spinal extension and exhaling as we find spinal flexion. And just like with the theme of today's practice, practicing for the Beaver Full Moon, the full moon in Gemini, we're balancing out those energies, the twin energies, that feeling of safety and that feeling of uplifting. And so just finish your exhalation, rounding the spine. Inhale to bring yourself back to a neutral position through the spine. And as we are working a little bit with that slightly higher energy at this time of year, we're going to try and cultivate that through a little bit of core work. So as we inhale, reach your right arm alongside your right ear, really keep pushing through the left hand. And if you wanted to add on a bit more, you can lift your left leg, so opposite leg back behind you, trying to create this balancing table position. And you can either hold here in static hold or taking an inhalation to lengthen. And then as you exhale, round the spine, bringing your elbow to touch your knee. Inhale, finding extension, really pushing through the left hand. And then as you exhale, find flexion, rounding the spine, bringing the elbow to knee. We'll do that one more time on this side, inhaling. And exhaling to round. So we're using that energy, inhale, reach. And as we exhale, bring your right wrist under your right shoulder, left knee underneath your left hip. As we inhale, reach your left arm alongside the left ear. And as on the other side, you're welcome to just hold there, or you can reach your right leg back on your exhalation, finding the extension of the right hip. Taking an inhale. If you did on the other side, as you exhale, elbow towards your knee as you round the spine, pushing into the right hand. Inhale to extend. And exhale, flexion. So feeling a little bit of warmth building, radiating through your core. Inhaling. Exhale to round, flex. Inhale to extend. And then as we exhale, bring your left wrist under your left shoulder, right knee underneath your right hip. So hopefully already feeling slightly more energized, like you have a little bit more energy than you did when you first got onto your mat first thing. So just take a breath here to recover. We're going to create a bit more heat now through the hips, through the glutes, and again, continuing to uplift through the body. So bring your right leg back, thigh parallel with the floor, and then bend the knee as if you're trying to imagine you're holding a plate on that right foot. And you can hold here with the static hold, or for a bit more heat, you can take these little pulses. Your right thigh lifts up and down, and it won't take long before you begin to feel this through your hamstring. Keep your low belly drawn in. Don't let your spine arch too much here. Keep pushing through both hands. One last deep inhale. As you exhale, bring your right knee underneath your right hip. Exhale, lift your left leg up and back. And again, you can hold here statically or bend the knee. Thigh parallel with the floor, foot parallel with the ceiling. And then if you wanted to add on, take those little pulses. Nice even balance through both hands. Try to avoid leaning to the side. Try to avoid back bending here. Keep your gaze forward towards the front edge of your yoga mat. And again, hopefully already feeling this heat manifesting through the back of the thigh. There's a common misconception that working out will make you tired, but actually working out and finding the muscle movement, finding this energizing property through the body can create more energy for you to take with you to the rest of your day. So it's kind of counterintuitive. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your left knee underneath your left hip. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to walk our hands forward, bring the palms to mat distance apart as you release the forehead down. So just melting the heart down, feeling the shoulders open. And this is that balancing energy that we were talking about. With the energizing properties, we balance those out with the safe properties, creating that stability, that balance. And when you're ready, just walking your hands all the way back and up. Bring your wrists just slightly in front of your shoulders as you lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale. And exhale fully. And you can pedal out those legs, finding a little bit of movement if it feels good. Otherwise, just welcome to hold in stillness. Again, cultivating that feeling of safety and stability. And when you're ready, look to the space between your hands, keeping the bend in the knees. We'll walk forward to our ragdoll. So as always, holding in ragdoll, you can just gently trace circles around your feet, or take your hands to your elbows, gently swaying from side to side, with a generous bend through those knees. Feeling the heaviness through the back of the neck. And when you're ready, releasing a hold of the elbows, but keeping the bend in the knees. Slowly roll up the spine, stacking one vertebrae at a time over your pelvis. So your head and your neck are the last things to come up. And when you get to the top, find mountain pose as we take an inhale. And exhale fully. On your inhalation, sweep the arms up. Palms can be shoulder distance or they can touch. And then as we exhale, folding forwards, bringing the hands to the thighs, shins or the tips of the fingers to the floor on the outsides of the feet. Inhale, rise into a flat back as we bring the chin and the chest forwards. And then as you exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to plant both hands, step both feet back to a high plank, and then with the knees lifted or lowered, lower either knees, chest, chin, or lower halfway down into your low plank. Inhaling, either baby cobra or upward facing dog, wrists under your shoulders, elbows into the ribs, and as you exhale, make your way back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And as you inhale, look to the space between the hands, step, hop, or a little jump to the halfway lift. As you exhale, belly to thigh, chin to shin as we fold. So we're cultivating the fire in this practice. Inhale, rise. Creating energy within the body as you exhale, thumbs to sternum. Inhale, reach through the tips of the fingers. Exhale as we fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, plant the hands, step, hop or jump back, high to low plank, elbows into the ribs as we lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. And as we exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And exhale fully. Continuing to build that internal energy as we inhale, lift the right leg up and back. As you exhale, bend the right knee, step the right foot through to the space between the hands. As we inhale, rise into a crescent lunge, sinking the right thigh low, knee over ankle, as that left glute gently engages. Keep your gaze steady and your shoulders a little bit soft. Hopefully again, feeling the heat building here as we inhale. Exhale, spin that left heel down as we open the arms into warrior two. Turn your gaze towards the middle finger of your right hand. As we inhale, straighten through the right leg, reach the arms up overhead, maybe the palms touch. And as we exhale, sink low, again into warrior two, rooting through the outside edge of the left foot. Inhale, flip the palms, reach up, straighten through the right leg. As you exhale, sink low. Inhale, creating a bit of heat through the shoulders. Exhale, sink low. Inhale, straighten through the right leg, reach the fingertips up. And then this time as we exhale, arms out to capital T, as we reach the right fingertips towards the front of the room. And then bring the right hand either to the thigh, shin, ankle, or to the floor on the outside of the right foot, as those left fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. Steady your breath. You're welcome to stay here, otherwise you can look down towards the outside edge of your right big toe, bring your fingertips slightly in front of your foot as you slide the left toes in, maybe lifting that left leg up for half moon. You can keep your gaze down towards the floor, or if the balance is there, you can turn your gaze up towards the left fingertips. Take an inhale. As we exhale, square the hips to the short edge of the mat as you bring your left hand down towards the floor on the outside of the left foot for standing splits. Option to take your right hand towards your right calf. If you feel balanced, you can take your left hand towards your right calf as well. Maybe just holding there for a moment. Take an inhalation. Exhale fully. Bring the hands back to the floor, then with a generous bend through the right knee, step the left foot all the way back as we inhale, rise into crescent. And then as we exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back as we lower down. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale into your downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then straight away, let's keep that energy nice and high for the next side. Inhale, lift the left leg up and back. As you exhale, bend the left knee, step the left foot through to the space between the hands. Inhale as we rise into crescent lunge. Sink the thigh low. Keep squeezing, gently engaging through that right glute. So hopefully you're feeling your heart rate building here, if nothing else. And it may be uncomfortable as we take these postures. It may feel counterintuitive, but you're actually going to find that after this practice is finished, you're going to have more energy than when you started. Take a breath in. As you exhale, spin that right heel down as we bring the arms out to a capital T. Gaze is still. As we inhale, flip the palms, straighten through the left leg as we reach the arms up overhead. As you exhale, sink low into warrior two. Inhale, flip the palms, straighten through the left leg, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, sink low. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. And this time as you exhale, arms out to capital T, reach the left fingertips towards the front of the room as you pivot. Bring the left hand to thigh, shin, ankle, or maybe even the floor on the outside of the left foot as those right fingertips reach up. Lengthen through the left side waist. And if you did on the other side, look down towards the left big toe, bring your fingertips slightly in front of the left toes as you slide your right leg in and up. Turning your gaze down or up, finding balance through that standing leg. Your right toes should be facing the right side of the room. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your right fingertips down to the floor, framing the left foot. As you bring your chin to your shin. Your toes now should be facing down, and if you did on the other side, you can take your left hand towards your left calf. If you feel balanced here, maybe right hand towards your left calf, maybe one hand is fine. As you inhale, bring both hands to the floor. As you exhale, bend your left knee, step your right toes all the way back, landing in low lunge, and then inhale, rise into crescent. On your exhalation, plant the hands on either side of the left foot, step the left foot back as we lower down. Inhaling into your back bend. And exhaling into your downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. We're going to make our way into a garland pose. So looking to the space between your hands, we're going to step hop or a little jump to the garland pose, landing with the feet on the outside of the hands. And sinking your hips low, with the option to bring your thumbs towards your sternum as you sink the hips down towards the floor. If your heels need support, you can roll up your yoga mat, or you can even sit on a block here. Otherwise, we have the option to add on a little bit of heat, a little bit more spiciness to our practice to cultivate that energy within. So if you want to add on, we're going to take little garland pose rolls. So you can bring your arms forwards, sit your hips down, roll back, and see if you can catch your garland pose again on the top. We're going to do that 3 times. And then we have the option for some boat rolls as well. One more. Find your garland pose, and then you can do the same again, or if you'd like this time, you can do a few rolls and catch in boat. So release your arms, roll back, feet together, roll forward, catch in boat, either with your shins parallel or your legs extended. Roll back, roll forward, catch in boat, maybe just for a couple breaths. Shaking is okay. One more. Find your boat. Chin and chest is lifted, keep your gaze forwards. Take a breath in. As you exhale, cross at the shins, bring your hands in front of your shins, step back, and then as we exhale, lower down. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale into your downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. Look to the space between your hands, step, hop or jump through to a seated position. And we're going to really begin to calm down now. We're going to look to cultivate those feelings of safety. So we're going to start with a nice rabbit pose. And if you're familiar with rabbit pose on your shins, you're welcome to do that instead. Otherwise, bend your knees, bring your feet to hips distance apart. Thread your arms behind your thighs and wrap to the opposite shin. From here, we're going to take a nice inhalation. And then as we exhale, chin towards your chest as you round down, connecting the forehead to the knee. So we want to find active spinal flexion here, rounding the spine. And hopefully already feeling the switch of energy here. This is the feelings of safety that we're looking to cultivate for the Beaver Full Moon. Imagine we're making shelter to hibernate in, ready for the cooler months, and embracing those qualities. Sometimes when we don't have a way of directing this energy, we end up just sitting in front of the TV, binge watching Netflix, or just scrolling through our phones, because they also cultivate those feelings of safety. So we're actually just going to do this more consciously and make it a choice to find active relaxation in these postures. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, gently unroll. And then you're going to take your hands to the backs of the knees and very gently, taking our thighs with us, we're just going to roll onto our backs. And we're going to start with half wind relieving pose. So just let your left leg drop down. So you can either have the sole of the left foot to the floor with your knee bent, or for a bit more of a stretch, you can extend your left leg towards the front edge of your yoga mat. And we're going to change up our breathing to diaphragmatic breathing now. So breathing into the belly. This is a good way of calming your nervous system, telling the mind it's time to relax as you feel the pressure of your belly pushing against the surface of your right thigh. And this isn't a real active engagement here of the muscles of the arms, just enough that you can feel your right thigh drawing in. On your inhalation, we're going to release the right leg. And on your exhalation, hug your left thigh in. And you're going to feel both the compression of the left hip, but also the compression of the belly into the surface of the thigh. Maybe feeling a nice stretch through the right thigh as well. And again, if nothing else, hopefully you're feeling quite relaxed here. I always think it's amazing how powerful we have the control over the balance of the nervous system, how powerful these movements and these breaths can be. We often think of emotions and feelings as something that happens to us, but only when we really break down the postures in this way can we realize how much they influence how we feel. Inhale, extend your left leg long, just release those hips for a moment, and then exhale, hug both thighs in. And you can just take your hands to your thighs, shins, opposite hand to wrist or elbow, maybe even finding a little bit of side to side movement. And you may find here that as you breathe deeper, the connective tissues through your waist and your lower back also begin to expand as we breathe into the diaphragm. And then we have the option for happy baby pose, either just finding this pose with a little bit of movement through the thighs, or you can bend your knees, bringing the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, taking a hold of the outsides of the feet, or maybe the outsides of the shins, with the option to rock side to side. Once again, just really letting your nervous system begin to cool down. And hopefully you'll be left with this feeling of lightness, of potential. The energy within our body has not been allowed to stagnate. Instead, we have cultivated new and fresh energy, and we're sending it on a direction or a path that we choose. Taking ownership of the direction of our own life, especially during these times of deep transition, such as the run-up to the festive season. During this hibernation state, sometimes it feels like our power and our choice get taken away from us. But even just taking 20 minutes to realign and recalibrate that energy for the full moon can be enough to get you through what feels like a long transitional time. When you're ready, hug your knees into the chest and find your way into your final relaxation pose, whether that's Savasana or you can have your knees bent, releasing your arms alongside the body with the palms of the hands facing up. Just let your back body sink into the earth. And you may notice a kind of pulsing or humming through the body. This is the energy we've cultivated through today's practice. You may notice that a lot of the clutter has cleared from your mind, and instead the energy has been directed into the body. As with any full moon practice, your energy has the chance to be slightly more chaotic or without direction. So this is a wonderful time for reflection, for you to choose how you want to harness your energy for this cycle, for the rest of this month. And so maybe using this time to set yourself an intention. Maybe your intention is to continue to find balance during this time. Maybe your intention will be acceptance of what is during this time of transition. Or maybe you have something that resonates more deeply with where you are today. However you're spending your time this Beaver full moon, I really hope you can continue to find balance between the energies as you take this deeply transitional time. Thank you all so much for joining me today. As you go forward, I wish you peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.